Welcome to all of you, and this is a very, very important topic, and there's a lot of interest in it, as evidenced by the number of people that we have here, and I can see folks all the way at the back. I only have 15 minutes, and I'm going to be talking. I titled the presentation "NEU: A Catalyst for Expediting the Acceptance of Technologies for Low Carbon Concrete," and in my day job, my regular day job, I'm head of engineering at Master Builders Solutions. I've been there going on. This is my 36th year, basically. And I've been involved in technology transfer, for quite a while. And I pretty much understand the pains and the issues that we, manufacturers go through in trying to bring a new technology to market. So what I thought I would do would be just go through a review of the current process to adoption and acceptance of new technologies, the things that typically manufacturers face. So we start off in a situation where you have a technology that's developed and then introduced by the manufacturer, into the concrete industry. And one of the key things that comes up to start with is the technology covered by existing standard specifications and codes. It really makes a big difference, because if it is, then essentially we have a clear path to inclusion in the master specifications of most for most engineering firms and architectural firms and so on. And essentially that makes it a lot easier with respect to the acceptance and use of the technology in project contract documents. So that is, the easy path, basically. Now, if they are not, then we enter into this particular situation where we get into what we call the concept cell process. What do I mean by that? Concept cell. Essentially, that's when you go specifier by specifier, agency by agency, state DOT by state DOT, trying to get the technology as, approved and then specified for use in projects. As you can imagine, it's painstakingly slow. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. But if the technology is not covered by existing specifications and the code and so on, that is one of the things that has to happen. Now, along with that, typically, then the manufacturer will have to initiate processes to address applicable regulatory requirements, as well as other barriers that need to be cleared in order to facilitate industry acceptance. Now, what are some of these things? Number one on the list will be typically to make sure there is independent third-party validation, testing that's been performed, or evaluations, essentially to substantiate the specific claims that are being made, and then also to evaluate the effects on concrete properties. Nobody wants to be a guinea pig. Basically, everybody wants to make sure that the technology that they're using will not create any adverse effects whatsoever. Now, parallel to that will be the development leading efforts to develop standard test methods and specifications, which means getting involved with organizations such as ASTM, AASHTO, on the DOT side, as well as other agencies such as ICCES, the International Code Council Evaluation Services Group. And Mahmoud was very heavily involved in this, which is one of the reasons why we felt it was absolutely necessary for us to have him within NEU. So once again, Mahmoud, welcome aboard. I'm going to miss you from ICCES, but it's great to have you on our side here. Thank you. Now, through this, efforts, essentially, once all of these are done, then we get into the technology transfer activities portion of things, which involves webinars, workshops, field demos, pilot programs, lunch and learn sessions. If you talk to manufacturers over here, we tend to do a lot of lunch and learn sessions, to AEs and so on. And then along with that is also getting involved with standard development organizations such as ACI, the Precast Concrete Association Institute, and so on, to make sure that the technologies get written into the applicable documents. And then the granddaddy of all is what every manufacturer looks for, is getting inclusion in the building code, because that is what design engineers live by, basically. So this is a typical process, obviously at a very high level in terms of the issues that, we normally would go through as manufacturers to introduce new technologies. And this was one of the reasons why one of the key platform objectives for my presidency, it was focused on expediting the acceptance and use of qualified new technologies for the built environment. And as you can see here, the word qualified is underlined. Why is that? Because there are a lot of technologies that get introduced, as you can imagine, and the question is, it's easy to make claims. You take product data sheets or marketing literature, and a lot of times, there are a lot of claims that are being made, but then the question is, okay, are those claims valid or not? Nobody really knows, or it takes quite a while to really, go through them. Now, when it comes to technologies for low carbon concrete, I decided I wasn't going to list any specific technologies. But as you can see from, this arrow pointing upwards, and as you can imagine, there are a lot of technologies that are being introduced. Everybody wants to get into the space, where they can say that, okay, I have this technology that will lower your carbon footprint. That is it. So the bottom line is, as users and specifiers, what do you do? How do you know that, okay, this technology is really going to function as portrayed or not? And essentially, this is where NEU comes in. Dean already showed you this, and I'm going to focus on the very first one. One of the things that from the very beginning, when we talked about forming NEU, we knew was going to be the main draw was bullet number 1, technology validation and the verification program. And indeed, if you look at the members that we have, Meta, Breakthrough Energy, and some of the other members, this is the main draw for them to essentially supporting the mission of NEU. So technology validation and the verification program is really, really key. And the good news is that ACI and NEU have the experience and the breadth of expertise that is needed to help accelerate the adoption and use of technologies for the built environment. ACI has been around for a long time. Basically, we're well over 100 years old, and this is what we do. This year, through my travels, over the past year, through my travels to various parts of the world, one of the things that was clear was the fact that ACI is very well respected, for the technical knowledge that that we provide, globally, and that's because ACI is perceived to be unbiased. We develop documents through a consensus-based, process. So essentially, the end users, have the confidence that, the due diligence, has already been done. So this is what ACI and NEU bring to the table. And essentially, Dane is going to be talking later on, this afternoon about the validation process and all. But I'll just like to summarize by saying that, from my perspective, NEU is uniquely, positioned to become the catalyst, for expediting the acceptance and use of technologies for the, with respect to low carbon concrete. Thank you very much.